And we're live.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Chainwrecked. We're going to be looking at a bunch of random crypto crime and happenings. Today, the Justice Department unsealed an indictment against two complete and total goobers that Zach XBT's been investigating for a while. Plus, I'm hearing rumors that P. Diddy is in jail. For what? We'll look at that later, maybe, if we have time. And as always, the Koreans are out there. What have they been up to? I'm joined as always by the master of many disaster, JP. How's it going?
It's going good. It's going good today. I'm not sure how I feel about that title, but it's going okay. But yes, the Grand Master of Sleuths, Mr. Zach XBT himself, has really done a good one over the last 24 hours. Obviously, it's taken him a few weeks to work on this particular case, but it looks as though there's a great outcome there for, well, I say great, $243 million are stolen, and I think 9's been frozen. So, big recovery, but it's not everything, and so you got to feel for the victim on that front. What do you think?
Oh, this was brutal. The victim lost $243 million. One person, one single solitary person was hit with, as you know, is my personal favorite, a highly sophisticated social engineering attack. And Zach's investigation led to multiple arrests and multi-millions in stolen assets being held. Ooh.
You know what I don't get, though, is how on earth Zach gets some of that information? Like,
Same way we do.
well, people have grassed up somewhere along the lines is what I'm thinking, because like someone's girlfriend shared some information. A lot of mistakes was made on the bad actors side of things. Recording a video of when they received the money, for one thing. That gives a lot of clues.
Of skids, though. They just want to brag about it. They can't help it. It's like it's not even harm or money to them. It's like a high score on an arcade board that they can slot their initials next to. Like, yeah, I did that.
Let's take a look. Let me pull it up on the screen. We'll get this going for the for YouTube as well. But I thought I'll follow the thread through, and we'll take a look at that right now.
It's a crazy story, boss.
It is. 1 second. There we go. All right. So investigation, and I think Zach's even said this is one of his best investigations so far. So investigation into how Greaves or Malone EM, Wiz, and Box stole $243 million from a single person last month in a highly sophisticated social engineering attack. And my efforts, which have helped lead to multiple arrests and millions frozen. So let's just take a look at these images. I should probably share my screen in Discord as well. There we go. You guys can all follow along. So 4,064 Bitcoin. I mean, for a start, that's one rich victim to have that amount of Bitcoin in a single wallet. But then Zach also posts a map, essentially, of all of the I would say this is a map of the outcome and who is involved, right? And so you can zoom into this, you can scroll around, see who the bad actors are and things like that. So again, great summary, I would say. So in terms of the summary, he does go on to say that they targeted a single Genesis creditor. What they did is they called Google support via a spoofed phone number to compromise personal accounts. Calling after as Gemini support, claiming the account was hacked, they social engineered the victim into resetting the 2FA and sending the Gemini funds to a compromised wallet. The victim Also enabled them to use AnyDesk, which, for those who don't know, is like a remote access tool used by bad actors. Well, actually, you can use it as like a IT help desk type thing, but bad actors use it to really get information and get access to the computer. And they leaked the private keys from Bitcoin. Then there's a video recording. This is pretty incredible. I'm gonna let me see if yeah, let me get some volume on this. I'll put this on a bigger screen, and we'll watch this. I just wanted to check I got volume for the YouTube. So let's watch this.
No way. No fucking way.
This video is incredible.
No fucking way, nigga.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
No fucking way.
$242 million! Yes!
Holy fuck, nigga.
There's a lot of information there. Look at all
Oh my
those
god!
names.
Oh my god!
Oh yeah.
Bro, I'm gonna spaz out! Yo! We're done! I'm spazzing out!
Spazzing out in prison.
Do you know how much money that is?
Quarter,
Holy fuck!
quarter of a bill.
Holy
Spent 3 ways or is it 4 ways? That's
Oh!
The casual.
That's pretty pretty funny.
Quarter of a bill.
Pretty pretty funny.
I'm gonna lose my shit! Yo! How do I... hold on.
Insane.
Yeah.
It's really sad in a way as well, because obviously that's a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
And at least 9 million's been recovered. That's better than a kick in the teeth, but there's a lot that's still missing. But having said that, I think you were going to say that law enforcement had made some arrests. Something about indictment. Do you want to dig in a little bit more about that?
Sure. Give me just a moment. Yeah, these guys were particularly insidious. All right. This indictment was unsealed today, Thursday, September 19th, by the U.S. District Attorney's Office for the District of Columbia. So, the feds. An indictment unsealed today charges Malone Lamb, 20, of Miami, Florida, and Los Angeles, California, and Jean Deal Serrano, 21, of Los Angeles, California, with conspiracy to steal and launder over $230 million in cryptocurrency from a victim in Washington, D.C. Lamb, a citizen of Singapore, who goes by Money Signs and Anne Hathaway, and Serrano, who goes by Skid Star and Versace God, were arrested last night and are appearing in U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Florida and the Central District of California, respectively. The arrest and indictment were announced by U.S. Attorney Matt Graves, FBI Special Agent in charge David Geist, the Washington Field Office's Criminal and Cyber Division, and among others. According to the indictment, since at least August 2024, Lamb, Serrano, and others conspired to carry out cryptocurrency thefts and to launder the stolen cryptocurrency through exchanges and mixing services. The conspirators would fraudulently gain access to victims' cryptocurrency accounts and transfer victim funds into their possession. They laundered the proceeds, including by moving the funds through various mixers and exchanges using peel chains, pass-through wallets, and virtual private networks to mask their true identities. Lamb and Serrano then allegedly spent the laundered cryptocurrency proceeds on international travel, nightclubs, luxury automobiles, watches, jewelry, designer handbags, and rental homes in Los Angeles and Miami. In one instance, on August 18th, 2024, Lamb, Serrano, and co-conspirators contacted a victim in D.C. and through communications with that victim fraudulently obtained over 4,100 Bitcoin, worth over $230 million at the time. An indictment is merely an allegation that all defendants are, should be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law. Of course. But it is my professional opinion these guys did it. They did it.
Yeah, so they were got. There's a lot of information, a lot of evidence here. Like these guys messed up big time. The real professionals, like these, I would say these are not professionals. These made some really rookie mistakes. I would say, which enabled this great analysis by Zach, but also I'm sure it's going to lend itself to the police as well. Some of the best professionals out there have got incredible OPSEC, and it's really hard to gather additional information about them. But yeah, sad, but a decent outcome as well. Yeah, what does Cypher think? What does Nakamoto think? It's also the first time I've seen Zach offer a free mintable NFT as well. Like when I seen that come out, I was like, "Hold on, did he get hacked? Like how did that work?" So the first time I've seen that, I was cautious, and I seen a load of people in his Telegram put the emoji as well. So yeah. So what do you think, guys?
I minted the NFT on what I call a war wallet. It's safe.
Cool. I'll check it out. I'll probably grab myself one as well later. Why not? Yeah, it's the first time I've seen it. Cypher says Zach's been doing that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's done it a little bit before. Mostly since the on-chain summer stuff.
What do you think these guys will get? Like, what's the sentence for something like that?
Oh.
That's right, Cypher. He did do DPRK. I remember that one now you've said that. Thank you.
I mean, yeah, that one I didn't get because I was worried about that. But once I saw that and I saw this was the same, account releasing him as the DPRK one, I was like, okay, yeah, this is probably really him. It's probably really safe. It's not garbage. But anyways, in a just world, I think these guys would be doing 20 to 40.
In a just world, what does that mean?
Means that they stole a lot of money and they probably still have some money that they can spend on attorneys. And if they have really good attorneys and they don't all flip on each other like immediately, then this could be really hard to sort of disintermediate, because this particular skid group had like 4 or 5 different components that were essential to operating this particular social engineering scam, and they couldn't have done it without like the guy going into the dude's computer. But I don't know that the guy who went into the computer was like the planner and the organizer, right? Like the guy who put the plan together. I don't know if they're the same people. I haven't learned enough about this, but really it looks like a group effort. And because they couldn't have done it without any one of the group components, then they're basically all equally culpable for the same crime in the eyes of the law. And in the spirit of the law, white collar criminals used to be treated with kid gloves in this country, but it's not politically expedient to do that anymore. Most of us are very tired of that, and you can bet that the district attorney knows that and is probably going to be asking the judge, like, if they all plead guilty and they can save the taxpayers from having to try them, then we'll just proceed straight to sentencing. And the prosecutor's probably going to ask the maximum sentence for anyone who didn't cooperate, and some kind of sentence reduction for people who did. Deal making.
So you think 20 years? 20 years for these guys?
Yeah, and it might include other restrictions as well. Like they might not be allowed to claim any crypto on their taxes or profit from crypto again. I've seen that one for a couple people. Like you're in Sam Bankman-Fried's case, even when he gets out of jail, he's banned from ever running a corporation
Yep.
in the United States.
Yep. Well, I hope they get what's coming to them, and all that laughing that they did, and you know, the excitement they had is really going to turn to the complete opposite, which I'm glad about. You know, that's one or two more bad actors off the streets, which is great to see.
I heard on that recording a bunch of excited children who got excited that they basically engineered their way into cracking an Ocean's 11 style vault, and they were giddy with excitement. But there was somebody on that call who was cold, who was calculated, and they just calmly said, "Oh, it's like quarter of a bill." That guy. I want to know which one that guy was, because I bet that guy is your mastermind. I bet that guy gets the maximum no matter what.
Yeah. Well, it could well be. And who knows? We'll find out very shortly, I think, you know, with the court proceedings and things, because all that will be public, right, in America?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that'll be super interesting to listen to.
Comes out. Unless they plead guilty, then they'll, hold a bunch of stuff back and then just skip a bunch of stuff and go straight to, sentencing. So they can basically protect some of themselves, some of their forever reputation with a little bit of disclosure protection if they cooperate with law enforcement. If they don't cooperate and act like entitled douchebags the whole time, then their DA's prosecuting attorney's just going to throw the book. Like, all right. Wire fraud, conspiracy to wire fraud, conspiracy to money laundering, actual money laundering. Like,
Yep. Everything, right? Absolutely everything.
Yeah, you just throw the book at them, and at which point, if they're found guilty of the entire book in an actual trial, which probably won't even be difficult just based on the tweet thread that Zach put out, basically the world knows they did it at this point. Yeah, it's not going to be pretty. Like, I could easily see them doing 40 to 60 years.
Wow.
If they fought that hard.
Wow.
Made it that difficult. Yeah.
All right. Well, just rounding up that story, I will say that for those who are in this Discord and have said GM to us in main chat today, we'll be doing a giveaway. And I'm going to be giving away some IOC tokens. So far, we have Smiler Girl's Shadow. You can see that Smiley Girl's not actually here. It must have been her shadow, Nakamoto says. We've got Nakamoto, we've got Cypher, and we've got Nexus. Nexus is actually he's not employed by us or anything like that. He does a lot of work voluntarily, and he said GM as well. So I'm counting his participation here as an opportunity. What we're going to do is towards the end of the show, we will run a random wheel of names, and we will see what comes up. We'll run it live. It is random, and whoever wins gets the IOC tokens. So there you go. I see Zero Sum's just popped in as well, so he gets his name added. Hey, Zero Sum. IOC.
Beautiful.
Where is Zero Sum? There we go. The wheel, yeah, I'll get it. Got a nice little wheel here. Let's take a look at this. There you go.
He wants to show his wheel.
There we go. Also, in other news, IOC's had a bit of a makeover when it comes to the website. I've decided to go dark mode again. Gone dark mode.
I really appreciate this. Just so you know, my eyeballs thank you.
There we go. So yeah, it's I do like a bit of purple. I don't know why. You can see it in my profile picture as well.
I do too. It's okay.
Yeah, I don't know why I like it, but there you go. So, bit of black, bit of purple. I think they go well together. So, go check it out. There's a lot of information. Oh, by the way, I've also put the verifiable links of my membership with the Association of British Investigators, but IOC's membership with Crypto UK as well. Put out a bunch of information as well. I forgot about this already, but yeah, I've already put out a story this week about two fraudulent websites, and there's many more like that, by the way. There's literally thousands of these websites, but in this article it does teach you a little bit about Discord security. So if you get a moment, please check that out. And for those who subscribe, they would have received this in their emails as well. You can subscribe just below that. So yeah, sorry about that. I just thought I'd do a little bit of a plug there, but yeah, what else are we going to talk about? We've got a bit of DPRK as well. What's happening on the DPRK front? Anything
Their
good?
IT workers.
What's
Their
the...
IT workers are being investigated the world over, and I just can't help but feel like we're in the midst of a very weird moment, sort of overall. Like a lot of cybersecurity researchers are trying to prevent these particular individuals, these folks who represent the Hermit Kingdom, from penetrating systems all over the world. And they themselves are working with other organizations, the other state sponsored organizations now, to try and, dare I say, go deeper, go further, see what else they can learn, what else they can do. They've learned a lot since Virgil Griffith came and went, and that's for sure. And I don't feel like I can comfortably say more yet, but I did just want to reflect on that a little bit because it certainly feels like we've entered this very strange new paradigm.
Well, the IT workers at DPRK, they're actually well known if you think about from an authorities perspective. So law enforcement, a lot of law enforcement around the world know about them, know what they've been up to, actively tracking them. We know the likes of Chainalysis as well provide reports on them. I read the one last year as well, actually, which was interesting because it highlighted the fact that what's the leader's name? God, that slips my tongue. Kim Jong Un, or however you say it, is driving. He's driving around in a Maybach, which is a $650,000 car or something like that. And with all the sanctions, it's then like, well, how did that happen, right? So I know authorities, especially American authorities, are looking at the IT workers, but they're literally everywhere. They're all around the world, every country. In fact, they have workers who are not natively Korean, North Korean, kind of like contractors as well. So they're, I feel for a lot of these companies, especially if coming to Web3 and have no idea about all of this, because they will get wrecked one day. We've seen it time and time again.
Yes. Especially if they're hiring anonymous devs.
Correct. Yeah. But even if they, I think even I've heard of stories where they've, they spoke to them on the phone. You can hear the telephone noises in the background, and they share IDs and all sorts of things. So you've really got to be careful. And if you're in this space, actually, it's not even just Web3. They're targeting companies regardless of which industry it is. Any way that they can make money, they will. So yeah. Oof. Try to verify identities where possible. But there's a lot of those identities being revealed recently. I would say a lot by Zach, actually. Again, he's released a lot of North Korean names, or at least aliases, right? That's being used in email addresses and all sorts of stuff. So a lot of information coming out about these ghouls, guys. Yeah, ghouls. Let's call them ghouls. Cypher says, I'm rolling out a workers tracker in the near future. The unit is currently under development. Nice. There you go. Nice. Well, that's the North Koreans. They will not give up. and they continue to damage it. You know what amazes me about the North Koreans? Just the fact that it's a government's funded operation. You know,
Yeah.
it, it's insane. And if you look at how much money they're bringing in, you've got to say it's a success. As much as it pains me to say that, it is. They literally pulled in billions of dollars through these hackers, through these government-funded hackers, and I believe a lot of them have been taught to be hackers from a young age as well. So, yeah, just insane.
Yes, that's a fact.
So, let's talk about something a little bit different now. Let's talk about P Diddy. I seen the image that he sent to me. It made me laugh. I was talking to my wife earlier, and I just randomly cast my eyes across that, and I just laughed.
Oh yeah.
5 nights at Diddy's.
All right.
5
Well,
nights at Diddy's.
since you all know I love to come with news from the source, I give you the Sean P. Diddy Combs indictment. I guess I can at least justify an air horn for that. Damian Williams, SDNY attorney, and William S. Walker, acting special agent in charge of Homeland Security at the New York field office, announced that Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka P. Diddy, aka PD, aka Love. That's fun. I didn't know that was one of his nicknames. Uh, was arrested last night, that being 3 nights ago, and charged in a 3-count indictment with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. The indictment unsealed charges that between 2008 and today, Combs would abuse, threaten, coerce women and others, leading a racketeering conspiracy that engaged in sex traffic, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice, among other crimes. As y'all could imagine, it's for me, the among other is always my most curious. My brain goes to that. Like, what else is going on here?
Let's not forget
Yeah,
how big this guy was. Like in the 90s, this guy was like up there with some of the best artists, right? He was not messing around, and then to see something like this is just again unbelievable. But sorry, please continue.
Yes, just to kind of brief people who may not know the history of this individual. Oh, it yes, it's okay. I was consulting Wikipedia just for my general knowledge about this man, but it's being edited in real time by crazy people. So
I'm not surprised. Not surprised.
yeah, there's a bunch of wiki protection on this particular content. It appears to be frozen, and they're not allowing edits to it right now. So that's, for my purposes, that's perfect. He was credited with discovering Notorious B.I.G., Mary J. Blige, and Usher. He's the holder of 3 Grammys from 13 different nominations, bunch of MTV Music Awards, and a Guinness World Record for being the most successful rap producer in the year 1997. This guy is essentially hip hop royalty.
I just don't get how you can hit those highs and then drop to the lows that he's got here. Like it seems like 2 completely different worlds. But obviously there's a slippery slope somewhere, and he's slid right down it. Wow.
Yeah, the part that's the most egregious in this guy's case, and the reason a lot of people are saying that this was a sort of nuclear level event that has the potential to impact most of the music industry and the pop industry in LA as we understand it is this part in the middle of the indictment that says, among other things, Combs's sexual abuse of women included causing them to engage in frequent days-long activity with male commercial sex workers, some of whom were transported over state lines. These events, which Combs referred to in text messages as freak-offs, were elaborate sex performances that he would arrange, direct, and electronically record. To ensure participation, he often used violence and intimidation, leveraged his power over victims, power he obtained through acquiring and distributing narcotics, exploiting his financial support to them, and cutting off and threatening to cut off the same, as well as controlling their careers. He would also threaten his victims, including by threatening to expose the sensitive recordings of that he made of the freak-offs if the women did not comply. To commit these and more crimes, Combs would rely on his power as the leader of a multifaceted business empire. Employees of Combs's businesses, including high-ranking supervisors, security staff, personal assistants, and household staff, all acted as Combs's intermediaries to, among other things, arrange travel and hotel rooms, stock the hotel rooms for the commercial sex activity, locate or contact women who would then be targeted, or conceal and cover up the abuse. This criminal concealment included efforts to prevent law enforcement from learning about it. And he's also charged under RICO with racketeering, which carries a maximum sentence of life in prison if you're caught in Florida.
Yeah, he's fucked. He is going down.
Yeah.
Man, well, on top of that, just adding back into the crypto side of things, I was just looking at intelligenceonchain.com/news. And I just want to throw this out there because this is you need to be careful about these. I'm not saying these projects are, although if members request it, we can certainly look into them. There's some projects here that are suspicious. The reason why I say that is because they are paying these projects. Where's that screen? Come on, there we go. Right, screen 2. Off we go. So what you can... Oh, it's not working again, is it? Damn. I had this issue last time. All right, news I'll do. Okay, that should be working now. Nope. All right. My stream's not working on Discord. But anyway, those on YouTube can see it. If you head to intelligenceonchain.com/news, there is an article which I'm going to post the link to in chat in Discord, which is a pre-sale. Be careful of these ones. There's a lot of pre-sale scams happening right now, and the narrative here actually follows exactly the same as what I've seen on previous scams as well. And in fact, those previous scams are just here as well. So major fraud alert that we put out the other month as well. So there's a whole bunch of different pre-sales, whole map that goes with it, whole list of addresses and things. So please just take care of when you see something like this, top crypto pre-sale. There's a lot of pre-sale scams happening right now. I just wanted to bring that to folks' attention. Good egg, apparently. There you go. What else have we got on the agenda for tonight? Anything good? Let's see. Let's have a check.
There's one other thing I got for us that I think would be bullish, at least. I always try to have something good, something
Ooh.
between all the evil out there. And it is a simple reminder to the audience that FTX is about to distribute $16 billion to their creditors worth of crypto.
Ooh,
Could be
16
bearish,
billion.
could be bullish.
Hmm. Well, what do you mean by bearish? So, do you mean that people have obviously been out of pocket for a long time? They're going to get that, and so they may liquidate and put some of that cash in the
Precisely.
pocket. Yeah, right.
Mhm.
Or on the other
Especially if they
side,
were holding a lot of Bitcoin that they expected to hold for longer, but they were parking it at FTX, and now FTX is gone. So they're about to get their Bitcoin back after all this time, and some of them will keep it, some of them will sell it.
yep, yeah. What do you think is going to happen? By the way, it's a completely different question, but this point in the market, where do you think we're at, and do you think we'll see a good altcoin cycle this time round?
I think we're still in crypto spring. I don't think we've entered crypto summer yet. The rate cut is definitely a point in the right direction that we're starting to get some tailwind instead of constant headwind around here. But at the same time, you got to be wary. You got to be cautious. The reason I say that is because BlackRock is playing some very interesting games with the idea of Bitcoin trade settlement and custody. In essence, Coinbase and BlackRock are trading dollars and Satoshis back and forth, but Coinbase is giving BlackRock an institutional ticking clock on settling certain trades that they make. So BlackRock will be making the bids and will be bidding the chart, but those trades might not settle for up to a month because BlackRock likes to BlackRock. And a lot of people think that this means that Coinbase is creating paper Bitcoin, and BlackRock is subsidizing this. I do not believe that this is the case, although it is a popular debate that's going on. I simply believe that this is a corporate. It's more like a corporate note, like that expires in 30 days to acquire the Bitcoin for the price that's agreed upon. Is really what it feels like to me. But still, it's a very interesting debate. And for those interested in more, Michael Saylor had a chat recently with Saifedean Ammous, the author of the Bitcoin Standard, about whether or not banks should be offering yield on Bitcoin deposits. It's like a 2.5 hour conversation, but it's actually very, very interesting. Especially, y'all know me. I always got to ask that question, but where's the yield come from?
Yeah, on Bitcoin, it's a little bit
It's
different, right? But like, I'm just looking at Avalanche right now on CoinGecko, and it's up 13% today. We'll take a little bit of that. I bought myself a little bag of AVAX yesterday. And it's currently in Coinbase staking, and with its staking, you earn somewhere around 5% per annum, something like that. But that makes sense because when you stake Avalanche, you are securing the network and you get rewarded for that. But actually, with Bitcoin, just for holding, like, can other banks or institutions offer a yield on that? I guess it's got to come down to either are they mining, maybe they're mining, I don't know, or are they offering financial products that incentivize people in some way, but then they've got to provide that yield somehow. You can't just yield Bitcoin out of nothing. So where do you think that's going to come from if they do go down that route?
I think it's going to come from interest repayments, from lending, from actual lending of cash and foreign currency. But of course, that's the funny thing today is that Bitcoin in the world of foreign exchanges is it continues to be the king. If any government on this planet, if you're trying to get a favorable foreign exchange of any currency into that government's money, right now, the highest exchange rate you can get from any foreign currency into any other foreign currency is Bitcoin. If you have one Bitcoin, then you are a multi-millionaire in almost every government fiat on this planet, including government fiats that govern 2, 3, 4 billion people. That is their native money. So basically the thing that Bitcoiners thought was going to happen, it has happened. It's just that the prices and the foreign exchanges and everything else, there's so many toll booths and so many fees and everything everywhere that no one really understands the purchasing power of their own money anymore. And in the United States, it's felt like I was bled dry, but I couldn't actually figure out where I'm leaking. I couldn't figure out where I was bleeding from. And ever since I've gotten into crypto, it's felt like I can feel, not only can I feel the bleed, I can actually see it and experience it when it happens. The same way like a rich guy with a mansion feels his mansion appreciate from its $5 million purchase price in 1990 to an incredible $20 to $30 million today.
Yeah, exactly that. And you see, so the thing that I always go back to are, when we try to compare purchasing power. When I was a kid, over here in England, for £1, you could buy quite a lot. When I was a kid, you could buy maybe 3 or 4 chocolate bars. You'd be able to get a bag of sweets, and it's like someone gave me £1. I was a happy little child. These days, what £1 gets you is there's some deals in the shop right now which are like two chocolate bars for £1.20. Okay, so that's inflation. That's the debasement of the currency. That's the weakening of the buying power associated with that asset. And you're right. If you hold assets in the form of property, you'll see that valuation go up over time. But really, is the valuation going up, or is it the fact that the buying power is going down? And so I don't know. It's an interesting balance, but for sure. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I've never measured my net worth or purchasing power in houses or Brinks trucks, basically, which is when you start to think about the world on a Bitcoin or even in Ethereum or a Solana standard, things get murky quick because it really starts to sort of show you how the forced scarcity of Bitcoin and Ethereum simply make them quality investments on the level of something like a yacht or a house, but they don't have the maintenance costs associated with either of those. They don't have the property taxes associated with either of those.
Oh yeah, 100%. I agree.
Yeah. Changes the game.
It does. It gives you an alternative, is the way I look at it. It really does. It gives you an alternative to the government money that's out there, and I think we need it. And there's countries like Argentina and Venezuela are fucked with the amount of interest. Sorry, not interest. Inflation. Jesus, like triple figures. Triple figures. That's insane. And the way to think about that is if you have $10,000 saved up in a bank account in Venezuela, tomorrow it could be worth $5,000. That's insane. Genuinely insane. So I'm thankful that I don't live in one of those countries where, the government could really do something there about that, but clearly there's some big issues there. Some big issues.
Yes.
But
there are stories from the What Bitcoin Did podcast by the UK creator Peter McCormick, who's highlighted individuals who were early Bitcoin miners in Venezuela. And they were actually able to get better deals with currency exchange dealing with dollar dealers in Bitcoin than they could any other way else, because everybody was already chasing US dollars as a way to just have something to spend every day.
Yeah, yeah, it's incredible, and I'm just thankful there's a different option out there. It's not for everyone, you know. There's a lot of people who won't get into it for whatever reason, and that's fine. I get it. But I actually, like you, I didn't fully understand what money was until I started to look at it from a crypto perspective. Um, you know, I remember the first time I really understood what it was listening to an impact theory podcast. I don't know if you've seen them, but Tom Bilyeu.
Yep, Tom Bilyeu,
Yeah,
a great creator. He has some serious goobers on there sometimes, but he's a great creator.
yeah, he is, and you know, he had what's the guy's name? Robert Love something. I can't quite remember his name. Lovebreed, Robert Lovebreed.
Probably Robert Breedlove.
Breedlove, that's him. Thank you. Lovebreed.
Breedlove is a form of guitar. That's how I remember that. But
Right.
go on.
But he's going to say something else then anyway. But yeah, I watched and you can probably go see it still. It's on YouTube, and you know, he then starts to talk about scarcity and what money actually is. It wasn't until I seen that I was like, holy shit, is that what the governments really do? And yeah, I got interested in it from there.
Well, you and I both thought, oh yeah, no, this is just government stuff. But the deeper I got into crypto, the more I realized, oh no, it's not the governments. It's the central banks. It's the corporations that are really doing the money printing. That always had the superpowers, the special fiat money printers. And individualistically, I never had access to anything like that. Thanks to things like Aave, I do.
100%.
It's amazing.
By the way, you talk about Aave. I missed the Trump podcast the other day with World Liberty. What's going on that front?
Oh, well, I don't want to bash the rug radio people too much lest we get a bunch of haters. But in essence, I just noticed that there was a lot of people who came out and said that the guy who interviewed former President Trump was kind of a scammer and a grifter and did a lot of the traditional key opinion leader garbage that one does in crypto. And frankly, a lot of his co-hosts are the same way, so it's not exactly shocking for me to hear this. And I should also correct, I think on previous podcasts, I think I said they forked World Liberty from Pork Finance. They actually forked it from something called Dough Finance. Uh, Food illusions. I can kind of get them all confused sometimes. But yeah, World Liberty Finance. They've been on Twitter. They're backed by the former president, most of his family, a bunch of his friends that I believe have been introduced to them throughout the Trump campaign for president this year. And World Liberty is going to have a governance coin, and it's got a traditional allocation that bothers me to no end, and I find problematic.
A traditional allocation. What do you mean by that?
Well, I believe, as I was highlighting in earlier discussions of this particular thing, it is a 63% supply to be sold in public sale. So that's what's going into liquidity. 20% has been set aside for the team, 17% for user rewards. No one really knows what that means. KYC is required, especially if you are an American investor. And finally, the token is non transferable.
What? So
We're talking about World Liberty's governance token here,
okay.
which they say will not entitle you to any, you know, security like rewards. but yet they've said there's going to be user rewards and they want KYC for Americans. So there are things that they said during the big live stream with the former president that I find somewhat at odds with reality. But frankly, that's nothing new for a crypto coin announcement of renown. What is new is that it's being pimped by a former president of the United States who, as soon as the announcement live cast was over on X.com, went down to the pub key bar to spend Bitcoin on a hamburger, which it just that entire sequence of events maddened a lot of Bitcoin maximalists in the space. I personally just found it validating of crypto education and really funny that the former president is hawking a governance coin for a protocol that essentially amounts to a second rate fork of Aave, which I think is great. And I don't think any fork is going to threaten Aave. But what I do think is going to happen is that World Liberty Finance is going to suck in a lot of US dollar coins because that seems to be based on my understanding of what they want to do. It seems to be the focus of it. I think they're going to try to create a retail solution by which people can deposit cryptos and dollar coins on the Ethereum blockchain into World Liberty Finance, and from there they can then spend it. That's going to be my guess, is that they're going to try to find a way to create an easier on to off ramp. And they're using Aave's guts as like a basic foundation to try to make this happen.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Trump was using Bitcoin there, I thought was again validating. So I thought that was interesting. It's not very often you see that. It's probably the first major validation from like a former president or someone so high of something like a Bitcoin, right? Everyone else in the government seems to be fairly sheepish about it, but he isn't. He really isn't. And clearly, by the way, he's launching a protocol is invested in the future. In fact, I heard him say the other day that crypto's not going away, and whether you like it or not, it's going to push forward. So I don't know. Let's see. Bitcoin's up today 5%, so yeah, I think folks are going to be happy. Why was the Bitcoin maximalist a bit upset about him using or buying a burger with Bitcoin?
It was the sequence of events, I suspect, that made them the most upset. From a lot of Bitcoin Maxi's perspective, when he showed up at their con in the summertime, and he didn't go to ETH, he didn't go to the Solana con, he didn't do any of those others. He did the Bitcoin convention in Nashville, Tennessee. I have always said that was strategic. He wanted to fundraise off of Bitcoin Maxis in particular, and he did that. He got a lot of money off of them to do that summer. And that was very validating and legitimizing to them and to their positions. And it reinforced a lot of people's beliefs that already had those beliefs. I don't think it really won any new converts, though, unless it was people who were already curious and just needed like a political excuse to take the plunge. But all of that said, the Maxis expected that he would be loyal to Bitcoin. That means he's not going to, endorse Ethereum or any other thing. Well, now he's created his own coin, World Liberty Finance. According to the announcement, it's going to be pure governance only, providing the right to vote and decide on matters relevant to the platform. They also said that they will cap voting power at 5%. Regardless of how many tokens a person holds, they won't have more power than 5%. Now, JP, I'll tell you right now, the first thing I thought of when I saw that is, well, what if I have 5 wallets? and I have 5% of your supply in every wallet. Now I have 25% of control of your voting. Like, you can put the cap on a wallet's voting power, but you can't stop me from having 10, 20, 30, 40 wallets. And I mean, we've seen script kiddies wield 10 wallets like a sock puppet master. I mean, it's
Oh yes.
wild.
Yeah, 100%.
What?
The fact that they put in the transfer block, you can't transfer between wallets, kind of indicates that they're aware of this particular issue, but you're not going to solve it just by saying there's a cap. To your point, somebody's going to hit that 5% and just go and get another wallet.
Mm-hmm. They'll just get another wallet to store their next set of bags if they're, sincerely trying to control a large majority of governance power of the protocol.
Yeah, Nakamoto says something, actually. So, I don't know, maybe the KYC part's going to come into it. So, are they going to be able to tell who owns each wallet, right? And if so, maybe you could do it through that route. But even then, if it's a governance token and it's on something like Uniswap, for example, you can't KYC people for buying the token. It's just decentralized. You're not going to be able to.
This is going to get hazy to me, because the moment pools for the token actually show up, it might not be legal. The contract, the token contract itself, can forbid you from sending it or transferring it, as it were. But I doubt that they're going to stop you from swapping it on the open market. I just don't think they're going to do that. If they do, that'll be very interesting. But I can just see this thing, once it gets out in the wild, I could see this not going well in a number of different ways that I don't think they thought about. But I can't really go into all of them because it involves, like, how much capital you would need, like, how much is this coin going to be worth? There's a lot of questions that remain unanswered about the coin, including what is going to be the public market price for it. We just know 63% of it is not going to be held back and is going to be put into public sale. And what public sale looks like isn't clear at all either. Whether they're just going to open a uni pool like every other DeFi protocol, I have no idea.
Yeah, plus also the team getting 20% is real steep. That's a lot. And for nothing as well. So it's not like they're buying them themselves. Like when I release the IOC token, I bought the supply that we own today. No one had anything for free. And I just, like, 15% is steep. If you're going to give, if the team tokens are like 15% allocation, that's the maximum it should be in my eyes. 10%, okay, you get it. But 20% for me, that's a lot. That is a lot. There you go. Cypher's going to be the one bot in that. 100%.
Yeah. Yes. No, please do. Because I guarantee that thing is going to moon maybe once or twice over. So yeah, if you could bot that and save some for me, that'd be great. Save some proceeds from when you're done selling is what I really mean to say.
Oh, it will for sure moon and dump. Yeah. And then it might come to some form of stabilization in terms of the price.
Yes. We want to hit that early like Cypher.
You'd be silly not to, in fairness, right? You just got to get out. You got to get out on time. And with that note, before we start touching on botting and things like that, because I think that's for the discussion after we hit stop recording.
Yes.
I do need to do the spinner, the wheel of names. So let me pull this up on YubTub. And for the folks watching, so I'm just gonna sit. I'll call it out as we go. Right. So so far we've had Smiley Girl, Nakamoto, Cypher, Nexus, and Zero Sum. I'm not going to put anyone else in this draw who hasn't stayed for any period of time. So the names are limited to those 5. Alrighty, so I'm going to hit spin. It's spinning, it is slowing down. And it's landed on Smiley Girl's Shadow. So there we go. Smiley Girl has won the IOC tokens. I haven't actually said how much yet. I'll decide later. But there you go. She's won some tokens. Thank you for joining us earlier. All right. Well, I think we've covered just about everything that was going to cover in today's session. So it's time for the big reveal. I shall reveal my very pretty face. How about that? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? In fact, I do need to just
I don't think the world is
change
ready.
the audio. 1 second. Output. There we go. Sound check. Sound check. There we go. Can you hear me, guys?
Yes, sir.
Clear as day. All right, well,
Yes, sir.
let's do a bit of a reveal. I said I would. There we go. This is my face. This is what I look like when I am doing the sleuthing. Do you like the hat? The hat's pretty cool, right? You like the desk behind? I've got to say, I like the desk. Yeah, I've even got the IOC t-shirt on. Can you see? Oh yeah, rocking it tonight. All right.